Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about how to save money at Walt Disney World. So most times when people are like, oh, you're going to Walt Disney World? That must be expensive. And while yes, it can be, I'm also going to talk about different ways that you can look out to save some money. So I will be back in a few weeks talking about some ways to save money in Disneyland and then also how to save money in Aulani. So without further ado, let's get started. So if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my list, but first things first is do your research. So you can look like everywhere. The Walt Disney World website is a great resource because you can price out different vacations, you can compare different vacations, and they always have like special offers on their website. So there are definitely ways that by going through their website you can save some money, but just be willing to put the work in, because that's honestly how you're going to save the most money. So next, stay off site. Disney resort hotels are expensive, even the value ones. So especially with the number of like vacation rentals and things like that within distance to Walt Disney World, it's a lot cheaper to stay off site. Obviously, like I prefer to be on site, but I also have stayed off site. When we went in 2012, we went with my family and my husband Ethan when we'd been dating less than a year. But we rented a house for a week and we did Universal, which I'll put a video to why we don't do Universal after that trip up there. We did like the Kennedy Space Center, and then we did a few days at Disney. So we did stay off site, but then for the Disney portion, we stayed at Pop Century. So, but still, going off site is going to be worth it. Also, there are non-Disney resort hotels on Disney property, like in the Disney Springs area. So you can check those out. Those might also be less expensive, but the thing to look at when you're looking at those ones is transportation to the parks. So some of them you can use Disney transportation, some of them you can't. Some of them they charge you for it. So for looking at the difference between staying at one of those versus staying at a Disney resort hotel, if it's charging per day per person, like if you have a family of 4, the cost savings could be by staying on a Disney resort. So definitely do your research in that way as well. Next, look for deals. So again, back to the Walt Disney World website, they always have a special offers page. Historically, there are different promotions that are available at Walt Disney World. So something like free dining, which actually isn't that much of a deal because they put the hotel prices up to like even the scales of giving the free dining away. But historically, that is a deal for the fall, and it goes on sale like in the spring, early time of the year. This year, it actually finishes earlier and starts earlier, which people thought was for to accommodate for Galaxy's Edge, but then the Galaxy's Edge opening is like smack dab in the middle of the free dining promotion. So for those people, they're getting a really good deal, but at the same time, like, would you rather go when it's not going to be busy or when it's really busy when Star Wars Land has just opened? So but definitely be on the lookout for Canadian residents. They have savings on hotels for like certain vacation packages. Just like, again, be on the lookout. And knowing like when historically those deals come out, then you can be ready for it and just kind of know what to look for is really helpful. Next I'm going to talk about 2 companies that like I've personally used. One is Park Savers. So when we went in 2016, we got our park tickets through Park Savers. So it was cheaper than going through the Walt Disney World website, and they are official Disney tickets. You just want to be careful because sometimes there are fake tickets out there, but those ones we bought in advance, and I could easily link those to my Disney experience, so making fast passes and everything like that was really easy, especially for the 9 people that was on that trip. So that's always something to look at, but their ticket prices start at 3 days, so if you're only going for 2 days, it like might not work. The other thing with Disney tickets is the longer you go, the less expensive it is per day, but I will get to that a little bit later. And then the other company that I've never used for Walt Disney World, but I did use for Disneyland, so I'll be talking about that more in the Disneyland video, but we used Getaway today. So we booked like a package through there, which was hotel, and then when we got our tickets for Disneyland, we priced it out through the different ways, and it was actually cheaper to get the Canadian discount through the Disneyland website. So again, that will be the other video, but they do have packages for Walt Disney World as well, so make sure to check those out. The only thing is that when you're booking the hotel, you're paying in advance, which we did not know, and we were pretty sure that we knew the dates we were going. It was just, it depended on availability because we were renting or using our DVC points. So luckily it was fine, but we ended up like paying in full, which I didn't realize, and I was like, oh no, what happens if we cancel? So it ended up being fine, but just something to note. Next are 2 points if you're staying on site. So obviously you're not trying to do it as well, actually it could work out. So price out the dining plan before you go on it. There are some websites that have calculators that you can either choose out the restaurants that you think you're going to eat out, or just do like the average quick service or the average table service. So I'll link to one of those in the comment or in the description below. But it will kind of do the math for you and figure out like how much you would save if you were going to not get the dining plan, which like 99% of the time it's not worth it to get the dining plan. So it'll do that math for you. There are some instances, like that 1% or whatever of people that it does work out for. For families, it can be a better deal, like just if, depending on how old your children are, like if they're under 10, like because it's the kid prices, like it can work out. So, but definitely do your research before checking that out. Also, annual pass holders can save money at restaurants, and there's also a card called Tables in Wonderland, which I've never personally used, but it's available for I think Florida residents and DVC members. But basically you purchase it for $150 and then you save 20% on your meals, but it also includes alcohol. So I wish we would have done that instead of the dining plan when we went in 2016, because with one card you can use it up to 10 people. But you wouldn't break even or get a good deal until you've saved $150. But if you can use it for 10 people and you're paying one bill, there's definitely some savings there. But the person who buys the card has to be you have to use their credit card to pay for the meal. And then the spouse I think it's only spouse can buy another card for a cheaper rate, but then that person can also have 10 people. So if you have a massive group, that would be a way to do it. Again, that's only available for Florida residents and DVC members, but if that would apply to you, definitely worth checking out. And next, if you are staying on a Disney resort, take advantage of the Magical Express. So I've done a blog post all about the Magical Express, and I'm going to kind of be doing I'm going to be filming more videos about how to plan a Walt Disney World vacation, but I'll link the post down below. But it's a free service that takes you from the Orlando International Airport to your Disney Resort hotel, so you don't have to worry about a rental car, and if you're already going to be relying on Disney transportation anyways, you might as well take advantage of the free bus. So basically, before you leave, you get luggage tags in the mail that have your resort area, so you put those on your bags, you say goodbye to them when you check into the airport that you're flying out of, and you don't see your bags again until they arrive in your room magically. So once you land in the Orlando International Airport, you get a little booklet with all of the instructions, but you go to a side of the airport, find the Magical Express. They either scan your Magic Band, or if you're in Canada, because you don't get a Magic Band, there'll be a barcode or something that they scan, and then you go in the line for your resort, and then eventually they fill up a bus and you get to Disney World for free. And then on the way back, the night before you leave, you'll get a slip on the door, which is really, really sad. and it'll tell you what time the bus will be picking you up from your hotel lobby to take you back to the airport. One thing to note if you are traveling internationally is they do make you go like really, really early. So even if you take it one way and decide to not take it the other way and just get like an Uber or anything like that, that you can get back to the hotel or back to the airport like on your own terms, just on your own timing, you can do that as well. Next is purchase gift cards. So there are stores like, I know in the States, Target, if you have a Target Red card that you get like 5%, or if you have like a cashback credit card or something like that, you can purchase Disney gift cards, but it ends up costing less because of the 5% discount, or you're getting cash back or anything like that. So people will go to those stores and rack up a bunch of gift cards, and then you can consolidate them onto one card up to $500, and you can use those gift cards to pay off your room, to pay off any charges for your room, to use it like in Disney stores, restaurants, anything like that. But that is another way that you can like kind of prepare, and you can save a lot of money. So like, I think I saw it, I found this out through Facebook groups that I'm in that are Disney related. So somebody said like for a $2,500 vacation, like you could save up to $250, like depending on what way they're using it. But just like look to see. And then also like Costco sometimes will have like gift cards that it's like, oh, it's this value, but it's for cheaper. So definitely check into that if that's something that you think you would use. That is a way you can save some money. Next, if you are like, if you have any affiliations, like definitely use them. So DVC annual pass holder, use your discounts. And then also like CAA members can sometimes get tickets for cheaper. We've done that before, and stuff like that. So if you are a member anywhere, check to see if there are any Disney related benefits that you can take advantage of. Next, bring food. So Disney will let you bring food into the park. They've just put a restriction that I don't believe you can bring like loose ice in a cooler, but you could bring a cooler. I think they just want you to use more like ice packs. So you could go like that big and bring a cooler or a cooler bag or something like that. But also you can just bring like water, I think like unopened like pop bottles or whatever, like snack bars, anything like that to like minimize the amount of food that you're bringing in the parks. Also at your hotel, you can, at Disney Resort hotels, you can get grocery deliveries through like Amazon Prime Now, Garden Grocer. There's a bunch of different ones that you can look at that. So if you want to have food in your room for less expensive, you can do that. Generally, I don't really like eat breakfast. I'm like ready to go to the park, so I'll have like a coffee and that's it. But that's another way that you can save a little bit of money and minimize on the amount of like money that you're spending in the parks on food. Next, and kind of along the same lines, is share a meal or get a kid's meal. So portion sizes are rather large in Walt Disney World. So sometimes Ethan and I will split a meal, like just because it's a lot of food and we don't need that much. So we'll do that to save money. And then also, we're vegetarian, so there isn't always a vegetarian option on the kids meal, but also if you just want a smaller portion size, you can get a kids meal and save like quite a few dollars. So it definitely adds up, and that's definitely a way that you can save some money. Next, so if you are splurging and taking your daughter to Bippity Boppity Boutique or something like that, buy a princess dress before you go from Amazon or even the Disney store here, because it's going to be less expensive than the options that are given to you when you're there. Also, if you're in the States, there's the Disney Parks app or the Shop Disney Parks that you can generally get like free shipping. So it would be the same pricing, but if you don't want to worry about like getting souvenirs while you're there, you can do them once you're home and have them shipped to you. If you're worried about room in your luggage or weight or anything like that, that is one tip. And then I think I'm missing a point here. So let's go to tickets. Let's talk about that. So do the math on tickets. So like I mentioned that the a 1 day ticket is the most expensive ticket that you're gonna get, because the price is the highest per day. The more days you go, the less expensive it is per day. And then also park hopper and stuff comes into that. So again, I'll probably do a video all about finding the right ticket. And like, maybe I was looking around and discovered that if I'm going on, say, like a 2-day trip and then like a 9-day trip, it's actually $100 cheaper to get the middle level annual pass, which is the premier one, I think, or premium, and then the level below that that's available to Florida residents and DVC members, like maybe you'd save $300. So I would say if you're going like a week or more, do the math and see, like, have a tab open with the tickets through Disney World, and then also check out the annual passes to see if it would be a deal. The other thing to note about Disney tickets is now it's like dynamic pricing, so it's the ticket price per day is based on the first day that you're visiting the parks. So if you look at the calendar, it will show you the price ticket per day. If you look at like midweek or like anytime during the week, the price is going to be cheaper than if you start on a weekend. So if you can, start during the week, or like if you fly in on a Sunday, maybe don't go until the Monday, because you can definitely save some money as well. And different times of year are going to be more expensive as well. So that is something to look into. And I think that's all I have about tickets. There's also a coordinating blog post that has all of this information and links like that, so I'll link that below as well. And then the last thing is use Uber or Lyft instead of a taxi, because it's going to be less expensive. And even if you're staying on Disney property and want to get from, say, like hotel to hotel, the buses don't really work that way. So to save time, it's more like to save time, but also to save money. Instead of getting a taxi, Uber or Lyft are less expensive. And funnily enough, they have this minivan service that's like, oh, a cast member. Most of the Uber and Lyft drivers are cast members too. So you can have conversations with cast members if that's what you're looking for too. But I think that is it. So hopefully this video finds you when you're in the midst of planning. Just do your research, be willing to put the work in to help save you money. Disney doesn't have to be super expensive, but there are definitely ways that you can save some money. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And like I said, I'll be back in a few weeks with a video talking about how to save money at Disneyland, and then again in a few weeks to talk about saving money at Aulani. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.